I look crazy. Hi guys, it's Monday the 7th. Today is gonna be a good day. I'm really excited about today because I worked all weekend and now today, I mean, there's still a lot to do, but I'm gonna take it kind of easy. So today we have a few things on the agenda. We have Trader Joe's. We gotta get groceries, it's like a must. I'm also about to get ready so I can go to Bath and Body Works with my mom, and I think I'm gonna get a cute little festive candle. I am really excited about it. I love candles, I love the holiday season, and I also have a doctor's appointment today at 3:40. I also wanna edit this video, and that's kind of what we have going on. Oh, and laundry, lots of laundry. It's kind of just a day of getting my life together. Yeah, so I'm about to get ready and let's just get on with our day, shall we? Hi guys, so it is 2 p.m. now. Kind of crazy, it's only 2 p.m. This whole time change is really throwing me off. I thought I'd show you guys the new little candle I bought from Bath and Body Works. Spiced gingerbread. It smells so good. I have gone to Bath and Body Works, I've gone to Trader Joe's. My doctor's appointment, I have to leave in like 40-ish minutes, so I thought just real quickly I'd sit down and chat with you guys. Let me know if you guys like this style of vlog. I find that it's really easy for me to create, just sharing with you guys kind of what I'm doing in the day, and then a certain part of the vlog I kind of sit down and share some information with you guys, share some advice, share whatever it is that I have to offer that day. But right now I wanted to talk about long distance relationships. By the way, I'm drinking a steamer from Starbucks. These don't have any caffeine in them. This one is the sugar cookie syrup steamer thing. They have a bunch of different options. It's essentially just milk and syrup, so you can kind of get whatever flavor you want, but I really like this one. It's good. So anyways, I thought that I would share with you guys kind of my advice, some stuff that I've learned so far from being in a long distance relationship, because it's not always easy, but I do feel like I've learned a lot, and I've been in my relationship for over 3 years now. We've been doing long distance for a total of like 12 months, but not consecutively. We did long distance before I moved in with her and her family for 6 months, and now it's been about 6 months since I've moved away from Virginia Beach. I just want to mention before I get started that I am in no way a relationship expert. I'm still learning new things every single day. We have definitely grown up a lot. We've been through phases, and if you don't argue with your partner, then I think that's great, and I do think it's possible, but most people do argue and that's perfectly normal and fine. It's okay to argue and have differences, but I think it's about how you're able to overcome those differences, how you're able to communicate with each other and still respect each other despite those differences. I also should mention this is my first serious relationship, so I have had to learn a lot, not only about how to be in a relationship, but how, I don't know, I've learned a lot about myself as well. I'm not an expert, but I'm just gonna share with you guys some stuff that I've learned over the past 3 years. This advice obviously applies to also heterosexual relationships, not just same sex. I just obviously am in a relationship with a girl, so yeah, I'm gonna be kind of talking about that, but you just got to find what works for you and your partner, and not all relationships are the same. So the first thing that I feel like is really important to know about your partner and yourself before even starting a long distance relationship, really this should be talked about and known in the beginning of your relationship. What is your attachment style and what is your partner's attachment style? Because we're all so different and we all don't communicate the same. There are 4 different attachment styles. There's anxious attachment style, secure, avoidant, and fear avoidant, I believe. Avoidant, fearful, yeah. It's important to know this about your partner and yourself so you can communicate in the most effective way and the most productive way, and also make sure that your needs are being met along with theirs. So someone with an anxious attachment style, like me, I have an anxious attachment style, could communicate way differently than someone who has a secure or an avoidant attachment style. And there's no right or wrong attachment style. I know that in the beginning, I've talked about this in therapy, by the way. Just because you have an anxious attachment style, it doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you, or maybe you're avoidant or whatever it is. A lot of it has to do with how you grew up and maybe childhood traumas or relationship traumas. I have an anxious attachment style, always have. Just because I fall under this category doesn't mean that I have all of the qualities of an attachment anxious style. It's just that I lean more towards anxiety, and a lot of it comes from just security, and I think a lot of it has to do with my dad was in the military and he was gone a lot, so it's just kind of how I grew up, and that's kind of what I was taught, that people leave. And also with me just moving around so much, I didn't really get to have strong, long-lasting relationships as a child. So I think that has kind of transferred into my adult life, and I'm working on it in therapy, which I think is also important to mention, that you can always be working on this stuff, but there's nothing wrong with you if you do fall under the anxious attachment style or any other attachment style. Now that Grayson knows that I have an anxious attachment style, she can act accordingly, and if I'm having a bad day, she knows that, okay, maybe she needs to feel a little bit more secure today, and like vice versa with her like attachment style. Like I know some ways to make her feel more secure. A lot of it has to do with like looking in. You can't rely on another person to make you happy, but that person can help you with certain things and support you. I think it's all about support. It does help and it does make you feel more comforted. And so knowing this when you're in a long distance relationship, because communication is key, you guys can kind of still support each other even when you are miles and miles away, which can be very challenging. But it also sets you guys up for success, and it helps you to not take things so personally also, and just understand that everyone is so different and handles things differently, and that's great. Not everyone should handle things the same way. Next point is trust. All I'm gonna say is you gotta have trust, and if you don't have trust, then it's most likely not gonna work. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Before even getting into this long distance relationship, before you guys decide to separate for a second, you guys need to sit down and have a clear and realistic conversation about what your goals are as a couple, but also your goals individually. So for instance, my individual goal is to focus on school because I'm a full-time college student, to save up money, and to work on my mental health. And then our relationship goal is to eventually move into a place together and all that mushy-gushy stuff that, is important to talk about. It's always good to make sure that you and your partner are a team and that you guys are on the same page and you guys see your relationship going in the same direction. Because if you don't sit down and have this conversation, you could be thinking that this relationship is going to go a completely different way than your partner does. So it's just always good to communicate, which brings me to my next point. When you're actually in the long distance relationship, communication is key. It is probably the most, if not the most important part, one of the most important parts to a long distance relationship, because if you don't have communication, you don't really have anything. If you think about it, you can't physically see your partner when you're doing an LDR, some might say. All you really have to rely on is communication through the phone, which can be challenging. I've noticed it's the most challenging when you're in an argument or you are disagreeing on something, because I feel like it makes everything just kind of 10 times worse. You can't actually see that person and like relate to that person and see that person as a human, because you are talking to a box, and that can be challenging. So it's really important to have patience as well. But yeah, it can be easy to get swept up in your own world. Things might be just hectic and busy in your own personal life, and like I said, you're not actually with that person. So it's just always important to prioritize communication. There are days where Grayson and I don't communicate as much, but we always make sure to communicate every single day, even when she's working long hours or if I'm doing something. For instance, she's on set right now, and when she's on set, it's really hard to talk to her because she's working long hours, she's constantly busy, and I know that by now. So pretty much the entire day we don't really talk. We will still like text each other a little bit, just letting each other know that we're thinking about them. And then at night when she comes back, she'll almost always give me a call and kind of tell me about how her day went, and I'll tell her about mine. And even if it's just like a 5-minute conversation, that is so much better than nothing, because, or even just a text message that says like I love you and I'm thinking about you or I miss you. It just helps you feel more connected to that person even when you are miles and miles away. Sorry, I need a little drink. Yes. Date nights, people. So important, because it helps you, again, just feel more connected to your partner. And FaceTime date nights can still be fun. It's maybe not the same experience, but I've realized at times, sometimes when we're FaceTiming for kind of hours on end and we're watching a movie together and we're drinking some wine or like whatever it is, whatever we decide to do, or sometimes we'll play a game. I know there's like long distance relationship like game apps or something, but I haven't tried those out. So if anyone has tried them out, let me know, because I might give it a little go. Yeah, sometimes we'll just be talking for a really long time and I almost forget that we're not with each other. You're not gonna have the same experience as if you guys were actually together, but it's all you really got right now, and you just gotta use what you got. So your phone is gonna be your best friend. And yeah, it's really, really freaking hard at times. I cry, not all the time, but I cry like once a month about the fact that we aren't together. But I also know that this is just what has to happen right now. It's all gonna work out, and I just love that I have a partner that's so on the same page as me. I highly recommend doing it, like once a week. If you can do that, that's awesome. I'm really excited because she's coming for Thanksgiving. We might do another self-care night holiday edition. So if you guys have any questions for us, just leave those in the comments of this video, and that would be awesome. Literally, you can ask us anything. We're pretty open. Her visiting brings me into my last and final point. Make sure that you guys are planning on seeing each other. When one of you visits the other person, before you leave them, make sure that you guys sit down and you discuss when you guys are going to see each other again, so you guys have something to look forward to. Because when you just leave and you don't have anything planned, it can feel really, really sad. And trust me, not every single time when I leave her do we have something planned, and every single time that we don't have anything planned, it's so much harder because there's nothing really, it kind of just seems never ending, and yeah, there's just nothing to look forward to. So if you guys sit down before you even leave them and you say, okay, this is when I'm visiting you next, or this is when you're visiting me next, and usually we'll alternate visiting each other. Yeah, just plan to see each other as much as you can and without it being like horrible for your wallet and breaking the bank, because flights are not cheap and gas is not cheap. I totally understand that. So make sure you're still being responsible, because you're doing long distance for a reason, so remember that. But I think it's just always good to, you know, plan those things out. Those are pretty much all the points that I have for you guys. I'm sure I'll think of more, and I'll probably do an updated version of this. It is now almost 7 and I'm already in bed. I'm about to edit this vlog. I am drinking some tea that is piping hot, as you can tell. And I have my candle burning over there. And yeah, so I'm just about to, oh my gosh, my eye, something's in my eye. I'm about to edit this video and have it up tomorrow, hopefully. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, and make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys in my next video.